So one of the reasons I love Ayrshire as a potential investment area for overseas landlords is the airport. Now, we have an airport right on our doorstep here, literally 5 minutes drive. If I jumped in the car, I would be at that airport in 5 minutes. So Glasgow Prestwick Airport. Prestwick Airport it is. They call it Glasgow because it's the nearest city, probably 45 minutes drive. So a little bit of marketing to call it Glasgow Prestwick. No one knows where Prestwick is, but we are on the coast of Scotland. Have a little look where we are. So this is us, nice and easy, amazing transport links to Glasgow and Edinburgh. So one of the only Scottish airports, I believe, that has direct train links to major cities. You walk off the train and you are literally at the airport. So pretty cool. So where are we in the world? Well, this is Pillow HQ here. We are not far at all, and let's scroll out. So up this road, probably 30 minutes to get you to Glasgow, another 15 to get to Glasgow Airport, which is pretty much here where the little pins dropped. And we've got Edinburgh. So let's scroll out to see Britain as a whole. So this is a location. We're right on the coast of Scotland. There's lots of nice, cool things about this airport. So why having an airport is obvious, it's good, but Prestwick Airport was very, very successful. When I first started in business, my first business dealt with lots of people. It was massively busy. Lots of freight, lots of cargo, lots of passengers all over Europe and beyond. I mean, that place was jumping. It was queued out the door with flights. Glasgow Prestwick Airport has taken a hit over the last decade. Some of the major airlines pulled out, went to Glasgow, some went bust, and it got sold to the Scottish Government for £1. Again, it was hemorrhaging money and they sold it as a loss-making asset. So under Scottish law, there needs to be consideration. So £1 it was sold. So the Scottish Government own this at the moment and they're looking to offload it. As I record this in January 2022, the Scottish Government have just turned down a deal. So as people want to buy this airport for the tiny sum of 70 million UK pounds. It's not a lot of money for an airport. This makes money out of cargo. So there's a few reasons why I think this has the potential to take off. Excuse the pun. So firstly, this was massively successful back in the day. It was probably Scotland's third busiest airport, second to Edinburgh and Glasgow. And we could see it getting back to then. Now with the corona and the climate crisis happening, it will never go back to 2005 levels. However, there's lots of freight, there's lots of other reasons why as an airport this works. One, it's Scotland's longest runway. So second longest in Britain, I believe. So runway, this is where the emergencies go for a few reasons. One, it's a long runway, which means it can take like American aircraft. You see them landing all the time because it's the only place that can handle the big, massive jumbos. Secondly, it's right next to the coast, so it never fogs, it never mists, so it's great for landing. And I'm told from one of our team members that work there's lots of underground passages, so if there's terrorist attacks, they land them there so the special forces can pop out. So an anecdotal story there from a person that worked there. That is good for, say, hostages, but hijacking, emergencies. So lots of reasons why as an airport that probably won't ever be shut down, hopefully. The Scottish Government should sell it to someone that's going to renovate it. Now, if a government owns it, it's going to be handled very badly. It's going to be loss-making because it's a government and they're very shit at running these things, but get that. It was a Swedish consortium, sell that to a private entity and they will make that a commercial asset. So that's number one as an airport. If another airline jumps into there, then more people will be going and it will be busy and popular. The more the airport is busy, the more surrounding businesses do well off that. There is hundreds of things. There's International Spirit Aerospace, so there's aerospace industries. There's lots of other big multinational companies all around the parks there. So as the airport does well, these other businesses do well, and we're starting to attract talent from all over the world to these engineering firms as well. But secondly to that, again, airport, take one thing, but there is talk of this being a spaceport. So this could be the only UK spaceport. It does say here, Prestwick is set to become one of Europe's leading spaceports. So lots of this Ayrshire growth deal, lots of money being pumped into this by the government. Don't know if it tells me, but £80 million of funding for this. The Scottish government and I suppose UK government are pushing for the whole development of Ayrshire, and the airport is going to be one of them. So if this loss-making airport that all the airlines went elsewhere and isn't doing well and was sold to the government for £1, then gets sold back to a commercial entity who invests money and makes it a commercial success, and we get a spaceport there. You can only imagine what that's going to do. Now, our office is 5 minutes away. We manage lots of properties, residential properties in the area. We know property prices will skyrocket, excuse the pun again, and lots of people will be coming here, lots of talent. We've got universities nearby. So this is a really amazing place for a spaceport, logistically, for transport, for rail, for freight, for absolutely everything. So if this airport does get sold, then becomes a spaceport, the investments that we have around here will be massive. So we manage about roughly 500 properties within a 10-mile radius of this airport for residential, for long-term families. So those investors' properties will go up, and we manage lots of short-term vacation rentals as well. So future videos will cover the vacation rental side, but if we're talking corporate lets, we already get people coming, working at the airport and the surrounding engineering businesses that make repair jet engines, etc. Then these high-level corporate people will be looking for serviced accommodation. So we already deal with lots of those. As the industry expands, and you can imagine what a spaceport would do, we'll get these high-level executives and companies all looking for short-term and long-term accommodation, and I think this will be massive for us. So the day that this gets bought and then becomes a spaceport, literally we could double the size of our business in Ayrshire, and our HQ is here, and we're staying here because I really believe that this will happen at some point. Despite the global challenges around climate change, there's lots of freight, lots of cargo, we will still need that. So anybody buying properties now, quickly, before this gets bought and sold and becomes a spaceport, your properties will go massively up in value, and as well your occupancy levels and your yields. It's just going to be fantastic.